But I think just the traditional and like how much space you have, what's your budget is. But there are some very high quality lathes called MIDI lathes, right? So MIDI, you'll see them a lot. There are different versions of them. Um, Here, let me just show you. Let me show you what I had. Let's turn off the dust collector. Let's chat for a second. So my first lathe, this is actually my second lathe that you see now. This is a Laguna 1524 is what this one is. But before I had what is that called? A turn crafter. So I had this lathe whenever I first started, and it did me really well. The price has gone up, as with everything else in this world. I think I got mine at like 350 or even less, and they do offer discounts and stuff. But this was my first lathe here. This was a 10-inch lathe. I think it had a 3/4 horsepower motor, and I was able to make everything from small pins up to why does that not get bigger? Up to I made 9-inch bowls on this thing, right? It wasn't the best thing to make 9-inch bowls on because again, it only had a 300 or 3/4 horsepower motor, but it did me really well. Shanigan's also has the same lathe. Wrenches already has the same, also has the same lathe. So get an old red. Boyd will sell you one. No, I already sold it. Wrench. I sold it probably about a month ago, unfortunately. So, yeah, you'll have to find a used one or buy one new. But again, they do offer pretty good coupons sometimes on Penn State's website. So, that is a pretty basic one. In my opinion, what made this lathe nice and what I think Wrench and probably Shanigan's likes about it too is that it has variable speed. So that little silver knob kind of in the bottom right corner next to the power switch, the silver knob next to it is variable speed. So the blue screen in the upper left shows you the speed. I think it's got 3 different pulleys, 2 or 3 different pulleys to maybe just 2. I think just 2 to kind of go from a pin speed down to a bowl speed. But to me, that is a good starter lathe. You can go even cheaper. You can go for like the Harbor Freight version. That is, you can find on sale for maybe 250, 300, but it doesn't have the variable speed switch. So, in my opinion, I think this is a great starter lathe, and it served me very well for a lot of projects. If you are wanting to find something a little bit higher quality, but still in the small form factor, I think the Jet lathe is pretty solid. So you can see there's a couple different versions. The 10-inch looks like it's $630. The 12-inch, that's a little bit bigger, is $1,000. So I think that's a pretty high quality one. But But my lathe is the Laguna 1524. But I wouldn't recommend this, like, unless you know you're going to be turning and you really need like the extra size and power and stuff. I wouldn't necessarily recommend jumping into this one right out of the gate. I think this is a second lathe, but just bookmark the site. There you go, Mr. Beefy. Yeah. So again, take a look around, especially maybe you can find something relatively cheap on used, on Facebook or whatever. And also feel free, Mr. Beefy, if you're not a part of our Discord. Our Discord is the Craftsman's Guild, and there are a lot of people who turn in there. Wrenches, Shanigans, they are both turners who are in the Craftsman's Guild.